children. Welcome to this session of English. Today we're going to learn the poem The Patriot, composed by Robert Browning. It was roses, roses all the way, with myrtle mixed in my path like mad. The house roof seemed to heave and sway. The church spires flamed, such flags they had, a year ago on this very day. So, in this poem, Patriot, Robert Browning has tried to show how people change their opinion, how they start criticizing the same politician who is dethroned. So, when a leader comes into power, people call him a patriot, and when he is dethroned, he is considered to be a traitor. This is a tragedy of modern politics. The leader in this poem fell a victim to the same state of affairs. When he came into power, people showered flowers at him as a patriot. But after a year, they declared him a traitor. When he was no more in power, they took him to the gallows. But Browning has ended this poem into not on a tragic note, rather on a next world optimistic note. Now, in this first stanza, the poet says, through the mouth of a political leader, when for the first time, only 1 year ago, on that very day, he came to power, the people gave him a very warm welcome. There were roses mixed with myrtle flowers, which people spread on his way through and through. The housetops were crowded with people, and they were moving and swinging like mad people. Also, they were so happy as if they were mad. The minarets and domes of churches were shining with light. These churches were decorated with colorful flags. All this was on that very day when the politician came into power, and it took place only 1 year ago. So, this is what is explained in the first stanza. Coming on to the second stanza. The air broke into a mist with bells, the old walls rocked with the crowd and cries. Had I said, good folk, where noise repels, and give me your son from yonder skies, they had answered, and afterward, what else? Now, in this poem, when the people were given him a warm welcome, they rang bells and raised slogans. These different voices mingled with one another and produced a sort of music. The air became misty and heavy because of the noisy slogans and the ringing bells. The slogans of the crowd were so heavy and loud that the adjacent walls of the roadside houses trembled with various cries and noises of the crowd. These people were welcoming him so happily that if he had told them that mere noise and slogans did not please him, and that they should give him the sun, that is, there in the sky, far away from them, they would have replied, that was executed. That means done, and what else they could do for him, the leader. Now, in the third stanza, alack, it was I who leaped at the sun to give it my loving friends to keep. Not man could do have I left undone, and you see my harvest. What I reap this very day, now a year is run. Now, in these lines, the leader regretfully says that the people did not help him. Instead, it was he who leaped at the sun and made impossible possible for them. He brought the sun down and handed it over to his dear friends, that is, the countrymen. He made them realize that every impossible could be made possible for sincere friends. As such, he made every effort and did not leave anything undone for them. Had he left anything undone, nobody else would have done that for them. But he further says that with great sorrow, that today, when only 1 year has lapsed, and that he is no more in chair, his reward can be seen. It can also be seen that what he is reaping as a reward of his deeds. He has been branded as a traitor by the people of his nation. Now, this is all what is in third stanza. Coming on to the fourth stanza. There's nobody on the housetops now, just a palsied few at the windows set. For the best of the sight is all allow at the shambles gate, or better, yet by the very scaffold's foot I trow. Now, in these lines, the poet mourns that nobody can be seen on the housetops now that the politician has been dethroned. So, this is how it is explained. Now, there is no one to welcome him. It is quite opposite to the scene when he was received by them. Now, there are only a few people who are rather paralyzed and are standing at the windows. Now, they are watching a different sight. This sight is a sort of ridicule, and everybody agrees to it. Obviously, the sight is horrible because the leader is now being taken to the slaughterhouse, or it can be better said, the leader thinks that he is being taken to the gallows to be hanged there. It is all the reward of his good deeds. His deeds have been converted into wicked deeds, and people are now punishing him for his supposed misdeeds. So, this is how the people changed when the politician was dethroned, and now they were giving him the required punishment. Thus I entered and thus I go. In triumphs, people have dropped down dead. Paid by the world, what dost thou owe me? God might question. Now instead, 'tis God shall repay. I am safer so. In these lines, the poet also mopes over his sad condition. He says that the people are carrying him to the gallows in the rain. They unnecessarily have tied his hands behind his back with a tight rope. When they are taking him to the slaughterhouse, the rope cuts his both hands at wrists. So there are bruises on his wrist because of the rope that was tied to his hand. The culprit feels that his forehead is bleeding. This is because everybody in his right sense is throwing stones at him. Everybody feels that he has done nothing for his countrymen. Every person has turned against him, and the achievements of his past 1 year have been changed to misdeeds. This means they have forgotten his service to them, and they are now punishing him for his good work for them. So the politician has been very trustworthy and faithful to his countrymen, and he has done whatever is required. But the countrymen, when they were not satisfied, they just threw him out and dethroned him. The last stanza says, Thus I entered and thus I go. In triumphs people have dropped down dead. Paid by the world, what dost thou owe me? God might question now instead, 'tis God shall repay, I'm safer so. So now, in this stanza, the poet, through the mouth of the deposed leader, says that he was brought honorably to the chair and with great pomp and show, but now he's been taken very insultingly to the gallows. He says sometimes great heroes fall from their climax and die. Such has not happened to him. Had he died in the peak of his power, he would have been happy. Further, the leader ridiculously says that heroes cannot expect reward from God in the next world because they get their reward in this world. In this case, people have not done him justice, they have killed him. He says, after death, he will go to his Lord Creator, where God might question him about his deeds he had done for the people. He would reply that he had done his best for them, but they rewarded him with shame. Now he will ask God for a reward because God is just and he would give him the best reward in the other world for his service to his people. He would be safe with God in the work hereafter. Thank you and have a nice day.